This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 13, starting on April 29th. This week sees the return of Valor Saladin, as he arrives in the tower for the third time this episode, bringing with him the Iron Banner. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Power level is disabled, meaning you can go into Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you would like. Iron Banner also brings with it challenges and a seal to become an Iron Lord. For episode Heresy, Iron Banner has now been broken up into two playlists, with each one replacing an existing node on the Crucible Director. Iron Banner Control will replace the existing Control node, and Iron Banner Quickplay will be the new home for Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, and Rift game modes in the Quickplay playlist. If you need a refresh or just want to know more about the Iron Banner, then check out our most recent guide. This episode's new weapon is the Arc Adaptive Frame Trace Rifle Warlord Spear, and returning weapon is the Stasis Adaptive Burst Sidearm Peace Bomb. We also have a new emblem called Saladin's Pride, and new shader called Banner's Bearer. Episode Revenant brought with it the Iron Banner Memento, which you can put into your crafted weapons to gain access to the shader Iron Banner Keepsake, and title of Seaver's Bane. Plus, the Iron Intent armor set from episode Revenant is still earnable. And Bungie have said to hang on to a few Iron Banner engrams if you can for the next edition, as there is a new weapon being added for the next Iron Banner on May 24th. Or, if Iron Banner is not your thing and you finished episode Heresy story, you have another week to catch up before the Rite of the Nine begins, giving you some time to finish anything from episode Echoes, episode Revenant, as well as Heresy. Or you could complete your Nightfall Conquest seal, play some Gambit, or even go for Ascendant in competitive Crucible. Or you could just go play some more Sunless Cell Strike, Expert Nether, and Court of Blades for those sweet Adept seasonal weapons. The new activity Rite of Nine is due on May 6th, a new PvP mode Heavy Metal is due on May 9th. Act 2 of episode Heresy brought with it the new activity the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnought's Hold of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. Court of Blades has two difficulty options, Normal and Expert, with Adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the Expert version. Also, the Grandmaster Nightfall node is available, giving Guardians the opportunity to complete their Conquest seal for this episode. With this node becoming available, this gives Guardians the chance to jump ahead and complete Act 3's Nightfalls, Warden of Nothing on the Dreaming City week 14 May 6th, and the Sunless Cell on the Dreadnought week 15 May 13th. Or conversely, you'll be able to complete Act 1 and Act 2's Grandmasters, which are now not available. Sark's Battlegrounds Moon, Lake of Shadows on the EDZ, Scarlet Keep on the Moon, Hypernet Current on Europa, Heist Battlegrounds Mars, and the Sark's Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnought Patrol Zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnought, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission Kell's Fall, where you can earn the new Void Exotic Shotgun Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge Kell's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly Pinnacle is the Salvation's Edge raid, over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure to visit Encore over in the tower to pick up the quest Drowning Labyrinth to enter. Over in the Last City we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 maps that are not in the Vanguard playlist version, and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins, and Kell's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Mothyards, with a Fallen War Priest kicking off the boss rotation. In the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, normal and expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new Battleground activities, Delve, Conduit, and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The Expert Battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Core. The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Divilium Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Kragar. The Ascendant challenge will be the Chimera Garrison over in the Chamber of Starlight Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Fogoth, Fear, Crota, Despair, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Taken, Cabal and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 2, Scathelock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Last Chance, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack, with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borragon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is No Time Left, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex incursion will be Umshire Park. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The Final Shakes Cooperative Focus campaign mission this week will be Iconoclasm. The 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly Pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation's Edge Raid Challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Zenith, called Coordinated Efforts. The Root of Nightmares Raid Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Scission, called Crossfire. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, War Priest, called Devious Thievery. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way. The Deep Zone Crypt Challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Tanix, called The Core 4. And the Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Val the Disciple over on the Throne World, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be The Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss in Val, and the exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices from The Last Wish. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be the Grasp of Avarice over on the Cosmodrome, and featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be Vesper's Host over on Europa. The exotic mission rotator will be Node Override Avalon, with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Stranded Ritual, Neptune Activities, Precision Calibration, Fleeting Glory, Linear Launch, and Bane Reaper. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Bunker E15 on Europa, Wednesday Perdition on Europa, Thursday Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Friday Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Saturday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, Sunday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, and Monday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 13th featured Nightfall, which should see us face off against Kargan the Technocrat in the Insight Terminus over on Nessus, or Hash Ladoon Daughter of Crota in the Scarlet Keep on the Moon, with the Plug 1 Fusion Rifle as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Iron Banner Control. The 6v6 Quickplay mode should be Iron Banner Fortress, Showdown should be in the small teams Quickplay, and Team Scorch could also be available, with no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Crucible reputation available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random world exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 13th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy. Thank you for watching, Allons-y.